Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Varus supplementary guide, and today we're going to be taking a look at Arcane Comet Varus, as you guys can see over here. Now honestly, this could kind of be an updated complete guide, but maybe Arcane Comet might be swapped with something else like First Strike, which I will talk about in a little bit. Now I strongly believe that Varus is actually now the best ADC in the game. Before this, he was already like S+ tier. He was already really strong. Like his AP build was really good, lethality build was pretty decent, on-hit build was really good as well. And now they buffed like his AD ratio on like his Q and things like that, which now makes his lethality build probably his best build. So as usual with the videos leading up to the upcoming patch 5.2, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time explaining the build in this dedicated section. Instead, I'm going to explain the build as the gameplay goes along, so as to save a little bit of time, since builds are probably going to change on the 18th of July when patch 5.2 comes regardless, so there's not too much of a point wasting too much time talking about those. So, but of course we're still going to talk about the build. So first up, I found that actually starting off with the lethality boots is actually really good, because it gives you a really big early game power spike, so that actually helps out quite a bit. Then of course the classic Essence Reaver first item on Varus. Whenever you build the poke / lethality Varus, Essence Reaver pretty much always going to be your first item to boost the damage on your Q. And then after we of course go into lethality. So as you guys can see, the three lethality items, the standard lethality items are of course Youmuu's, into Age of Night, into the Collector. Now this is pretty standard for Varus. Now I'm going to explain the logic as to why. So Youmuu's of course, other than the Dust Blade, basically gives you the most AD lethality and just the best stats in general. You also get the attack speed when you proc it, so just really good. Of course, Edge of Night is mainly for the safety with that spell shield. And Collector, you might be thinking, why are you going for Collector as your third lethality item? Normally you go for that like maybe first or second item. Well, the real answer to that is basically because Essence Reaver gets its damage increased with every crit item you have. So in this case, lethality item and crit item is going to be like Collector, and Collector gives you both, and it's going to increase the damage of your Essence Reaver, which is of course going to increase the damage of your Q by even more. So that actually does make sense. And of course last item, it's going to be More Reminder, which once again is a crit item that increases your Essence Reaver proc damage, and of course it also gives you the Armor Pen and the Grievous Suits. Now the only part of the build you can kind of swap out is what you're going to be seeing in this match, which is to swap out Youmuu's Ghost Blade with the Serpent's Fang. And of course Serpent's Fang is really good into anti-shield, into shielding teams, which of course it provides you with the anti-shield. So in this particular match, very useful against the Seraphine. Seraphine is of course a support with a lot of shielding from her W and her double W. A little bit of shielding coming in from Kassadin as well. Mundo might build a Gargoyles as well. So overall, just based on the Seraphine alone, the shielding value of the enemy team already very high. So having that anti-shield is going to be very important. And the best one to swap out is going to be Youmuu's Ghost Blade, because you could swap out the Collector for example, but it doesn't make sense to go for Youmuu's like late into the game. It's kind of more of a first item, second item kind of deal. So swapping out Youmuu's for that is going to make a lot of sense. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the runes. So Arcane Comet, as you guys can see, and you will see in the stats later, that Arcane Comet does a total of over 2,000 damage. And yeah, Arcane Comet is actually a really strong rune on Poke Varus, which I didn't really expect. This is actually the first time I'm playing Arcane Comet on an ADC, because like ADCs have so many better runes. Press the Attack, Conqueror, as well as Lethal Temple. I almost never take Arcane Comet. So this is actually my first time playing Arcane Comet on an ADC. And I have to say that it does feel actually pretty good. However, just seeing how much damage I already do, I can't help but feel First Strike might just be better, because First Strike did get nerfed, and First Strike is now not a very popular rune. But just based on Varus' playstyle of ulting someone and then one-shotting them, I think that there is probably a world where First Strike is better than Arcane Comet majority of the time. But Arcane Comet of course is just a lot more consistent source of damage, and probably is going to deal more damage than First Strike overall. But First Strike of course has that insane burst damage, so it's kind of what you prefer. But Arcane Comet overall is just a really good, really viable rune for Varus. And the rest of the runes is pretty standard. Now the only real rune I'm considering changing out is maybe Brutal. Like Brutal might be better if you change it to either of the other two, Gathering Storm or Triumph, because I have noticed with this particular Varus build, the Poke build, you actually like don't really want to get close to people to auto attack. You actually want to just stay far away and consistently poke with your Q, just because of your Q doing so much damage and being able to damage multiple enemies at the same time if they stack up on top of each other. So yeah. And of course, for these spells, you generally want to go for Flash together with Exhaust. Now I find that Exhaust again is better than Ghost majority of the time for this particular build, because you don't really need to like run around and auto attack people. You just want to stay far away and snipe people out. So actually having the Exhaust is really good for when people, you know, go for you. You can just exhaust them and prevent them from you know, attacking you. But of course, you can see in this particular match, I actually have the Ghost instead of the Exhaust, because I'm really used to playing Ghost Varus. But after playing this match, I kind of realized that, like, you know, for this particular playstyle, like the poke playstyle, Exhaust is probably better. So we spent like 5+ minutes talking about the build already. So now let's just, you know, go on to the gameplay. So what's happened so far? We've gotten ganked by Master Yi, we died to him, but then we got a really nice play onto the enemy Seraphine, killed her, and then killed Master Yi at the dragon when he jumped in 1v4. So that's just a very brief summary of the first 5 minutes of the game. And now, what point are we at? Well, we are almost 6 minutes in the game. My team has just secured the dragon. Herald's still up for grabs. In terms of my build, I have already secured my boots as well as my Essence Reaver. So we are really good on that front. So 2-1-0 at the moment. Decent amount of gold, and we are at a pretty decent spot, on par with majority of other champions in the game. So you know, this game will be a little bit of a pop-off later on, but for now we're not, you know, we're not insanely fed or anything like that. Of course, we're not, you know, we're not feeding or anything, but we're doing just all right. So here we have a Blitzcrank support, gets the hook in onto the Seraphine, we ult her and kill her, and now we're gonna run down the Ashe. Flash forward to get the distance, auto attack her down a little bit, and pop the Q to pop the Blight Stacks and secure the kill. So I know I said you don't auto attack a lot with this build on Varus, but at the end of the day, despite the fact that you don't have really any attack speed at all or anything like that, yeah, because of course you do go for Bloodline because you have no other form of healing in this build at all, so you do go for Bloodline. Despite the fact that you don't have any attack speed at all, you have a lot of attack damage and you have a lot of lethality. So your auto attack still hurt, but you don't auto attack quickly whatsoever. So as a result, as I said, in the later part of the game, you really don't want to go up and auto attack. Like for example, in certain circumstances, like where there's a Master Yi or an Assassin, you don't want to get anywhere near, you just want to poke them out. And also Kassadin is a little bit of a threat. But of course, if the opportunity arises, like if you can auto attack Mundo to stack up on him, you always of course want to do that. So you know, if the opportunity arises, you still of course want to auto attack and maximize your damage. But if you can't do that safely, then you don't want to auto attack whatsoever, because you still can output a lot of damage without auto attacking, unlike other ADCs. Whereas, of course, if you have the opportunity, you always want to auto attack to just get more damage in general. You can never have too much damage, in my opinion. So, yeah. So here we clear up the wave. We're pushing into this tower right here. Ashe is coming to defend the tower, which is a mistake because we're about to secure the tower here. Blitzcrank flashes in on Ashe, hooks her back in. I catch up a little bit, pop the ulti. Master Yi is now here, so we're in trouble. We do get the kill onto Ashe and then onto Seraphine, but I know that I'm dead, so I just basically just try my best to get as many kills as we can. So overall, I get 2 kills, and Master Yi get 2 kills, but he gets my shutdown as well. So you can see at this point in the game, me and Master Yi are both incredibly fed. I'm, you know, 6-2. Master Yi is 5-1, and we both have similar amounts of gold. Master Yi, of course, 500 gold ahead of me at this point in the game. So we are both really fed. And the rest of both of our teams are kind of doing okay as well in general. Like the supports are on pretty even standing. Mid laners pretty even standing. Top laners, Mundo has a little bit of a lead, you know, a 1.5k gold lead plus on the Morgana. Aside from that, it's just B versus Master Yi in terms of the lead. Look at that damage on the Kassadin, by the way. Here we get the root onto the Master Yi, and we finish him off and get the shutdown right back over, and now we're kind of almost at Master Yi's goal. So really, as I'm saying, this is kind of a game of me versus Master Yi, who can kind of carry harder. Now here, Ashe super duper overextended just to get that tier 1 tower, and I'm thinking this is a confirmed kill. So I actually thought Lux had it, so I'm actually just going for the minions, and then I realized that, wait a minute, my Lux is in stasis, she's in trouble. So here I come back to help her out a little bit, and you can see at this point already my damage is completely bonkers. Of course, I'm 8-2-1 at the moment, and 9k gold in the pocket, and I can basically like close to one-shot anyone other than Mundo. And the beautiful thing about Varus is his W actually does percent health damage. So even against tanks like Mundo, and even if you build lethality, you're still going to do a decent amount of damage to them. And we will see that a little bit later on in this game as well, where obviously sooner or later we're going to encounter the Mundo. The dragon is coming up. It's going to be Infernal Dragon in 10 seconds. My team is all converging on the dragon except Morgana. By the way, I have an atrocious team comp with a Morgana, top, Lilia, jungle, and Lux mid. Like, triple AP on the top side. And what's this Morgana top pick? No clue. And yeah, so this is some trash team comp, especially compared to the enemy team where they have a proper frontline in Mundo. So here you can see I'm just auto-attacking the Mundo. I actually ult him, and I'm actually able to kill him after getting him pretty low. Now Masti is going to be the next target. He gets rooted by Lux, and because of that, I'm able to get a free arrow onto him. Now I'm just trying to focus the dragon while the fight's happening. And this is really the fight where I kind of pop off completely. I get the dragon, and Lux and Seraphine are, Seraphine and Ashe are kind of on the back. So here I'm just aiming my arrow, snipe onto the Ashe, and hitting the Seraphine at the same time. Seraphine takes like half of her health as damage. Now I'm lining up the snipe again. Unfortunately on the replay I don't scroll properly, but I do hit the Seraphine here, putting her on basically almost 1 HP. She picks up the fruit, and I'm gonna have to go for another snipe, and boom, there we go, get the kill. Basically that was 4 like huge arrows in a row that I hit to basically kill Master Yi and then Ashe and then Seraphine. Completely insane. Yeah, that felt really good. I mean, you guys know when you hit those max range Qs on Varus, like I hit like 4 of them in a row, that is a good feeling for obvious reasons. So here we're gonna go to mid. One of the beautiful things about Lethality Varus is that you can basically almost instantly clear a wave just with one fully charged Q. You guys saw that you can basically one-shot all the minions except the cannon minion, which is gonna be one auto attack away. This gets a hook onto Kassadin, and you can see we instantly just one-shot him just with one Q, and this is what a fat Lethality Varus can do. And this is one of the reasons why I think Varus is one of the best ADCs. I mean, really, Varus' only weakness is his lack of mobility. Other than that, he can build AP if your team needs AP. He can build lethality if you have a chance to poke enemies out, and if they're squishy especially, it's really good. He can build on hit if the enemy team is tanky. So you have a build against tanks, you have a build against squishies, you have a build if your team has no AP. Speaking of tanks, you can see here Mundo over there in a little bit of a pickle here. Speaking of a pickle, Masti nearly auto-attacks me to death, but I barely survived. Now I'm trying to help out my team. I'm on 1 HP, so I'm gonna grab the fruit first. Now just auto-attacking the Mundo down a little bit. He can't really do anything to me, so I'm just getting a free auto-attacks in. And yeah, and the best part about Varus is you can even combine the build. So for example, if the enemy team is squishy but has one tank, for example in this game here, I can actually even go from lethality into on hit, for example. So for example here you can see I have Essence Reaver into Serpent Smack into Edge of Night. I could even just go straight up for like a Terminus and a Bork here just to counter the Mundo, for example, which I'm not gonna, but I'm just saying that I can. So yeah, the Varus is just completely insane in terms of your build options. And you know, you have the huge range with your Q, you have the percent health damage with your W, you have anti-heal on your E, and you have a CC on your ulti that can spread to multiple people in a team fight. So Varus is just a really strong ADC, you know, at the moment. Yeah, he just does way too much damage, and yeah, just pretty insane. Honestly, I really thought he was pretty good before he got buffed in patch 5.1D, but after, you know, getting that buff, he's now just completely broken. Yeah, he's getting picked a lot, and I'm playing into a lot of Varuses, and also I'm playing Varus myself quite a bit, just because of how strong he really is. So Baron is up. My whole team is around the Baron area, and here we are looking for some picks. Maybe we can get some picks and get Baron. Mundo is getting caught out. Kassadin is mobile enough to run away. Here I'm just getting the snipe onto the Mundo. Mundo is really tanky though. It becomes a full-on team fight. I'm gonna focus Master Yi, who I managed to hit at the ulti. He's into stasis. He pops the Q, but he's inside 5 people. I QSS to prevent myself from getting CC'd by Seraphine. Now the enemies are on the tower. Really difficult to do anything unless we turn onto Baron. Here you can see I sniped the enemy bot lane again. They're both really low. Now I flash over. I actually think I make a mistake here by going for Seraphine. I think I should have chased Ashe and Kassadin, but I felt that this is a bit risky because Ashe and Kassadin do have a decent amount of damage. They are both damage dealers now. They're not doing very well, but I believe like Kassadin will get his cooldowns back, and he can probably burst me down, and Ashe can slow me down, and I really don't want to take the risk of, you know, dying to them, especially when I'm 15-2 and I have like a 10 kill shutdown or so. So yeah, I don't want to get them back in the game by dying to them, so I rather go for the safe kill on the Seraphine and then get Baron afterwards, which is the more safe play. So here, Collector completed as well. So triple lethality item plus the Essence Reaver. And even the boots, we have lethality boots. So we have insane amounts of lethality now. We should be doing, honestly, close to true damage to like anyone other than Mundo at this point. Maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but here again we hit the ulti onto Seraphine. The ulti doesn't spread because they run away in time. Master Yi once again for some reason goes in 1d5. Now this Master Yi has done this a couple times. Once again I have to secure the dragon because my team decides to just ditch the dragon. I accidentally take some fruit instead of giving it to my Lux. I try to dodge the fruit at the last minute. Basically everyone on the enemy team dies except for Mundo and Kassadin. Kassadin here now trying to defend. Mundo probably recalled as well because Lux was not really able to stop him. But we are with the Baron buff going to be able to take down this inhib. And then with Lilia is coming in with the next wave, so we're going to rotate over and try to secure the other inhib as well. So we get the tower here, wave is coming in, respawns are coming through for the enemy team, so we got to make it quick. Quickly securing the inhib here, and now we can just back off, or we should at least back off. Here I'm just trying to just land some free poke, just because I have insane range. Enemy team kind of getting baited into a fight. As long as they don't engage on me, I'm going to be able to win the fight for my team. Just look at that, one arrow is half the health of Seraphine. Not too big of a surprise there, especially with my anti-shield. Here I actually pick up the anti-heal component of the Maul Reminder first, mainly because it's going to counter Mundo's healing. It's going to counter Master Yi, who has a decent amount of healing in his build. Speaking of Mundo, he has been in the jungle for some time, and I'm just going to go over and just dispatch him right away. A little bit dangerous walking into the river as the first person here, so probably shouldn't do that. The Kassadin is now getting chased down by my team. I'm just following while pushing in the wave. Here Kassadin, really slippery, is escaping. Lilia actually dies because she runs into the enemy team and gets baited by the Kassadin. Master Yi surprisingly doesn't just run straight into us and try to fight us with like 1v4, which he has been doing multiple times in this match. He does get caught by the binding though, and I'm gonna get the root as well. He's going into stasis. However, I am gonna be able to hit him with the arrow off the knockup from Blitzcrank, and he is gone. Basically, Master Yi just dropped the ball at some point in time of the game. He just started dying non-stop, and now I have a 3k goal lead on top of him. And without him around, his team is going to be in trouble. However, Ashe hits me with an arrow. I have to QSS it and flash away because I'm taking a bunch of damage. And now we're going to take the safe option of retreating. Because, yeah, it's getting a little bit dicey here with the enemy team having their tower. And I'm just going to back. I get to full build, which is, of course, my Maul Reminder last item. And yeah, now I'm at like full strength. I can't get any stronger because I literally have no more items that I can buy. So ideally I want to end the game quick from this point on, because the longer it takes to end the game, the stronger the enemy team is going to get, because they're going to get more and more items and more levels, things like that. I'm also almost max level, just a little bit more level 15. Baron and Elder are both spawning now. I'm not sure what my Lilia is doing. She's kind of trolling here by doing the blue buff. Like, why not just... if you want to stack your passive, do it on the Elder. Like, DPS the Elder. Come on, like, Lux is also, like, what's she doing? She's just walking around shielding us. Like, can you just DPS the Elder, please? We could have gotten this Elder before the enemy team even got anywhere near to the pit, but instead they actually nearly managed to walk in. Now, with the Elder, the best thing to do is, of course, do the Baron. And with the Baron and Elder, and we already 2 inhibs down, it should be a free, ending of the game. So here, I'm trying to ping for Baron. I'm starting on the Baron, but my team, everyone other than Lilia, refuses to do the Baron. So now at this point, it's probably better to just wipe out the enemy team since they decide not to remain in their base. So we wipe out the Kassadin, we wipe out the Seraphine. Master Yi comes in, he gets wiped out as well. And only Ashe and Mundo are left. Mundo is getting occupied by Lilia. I'm here, full charge arrow into Ashe, auto. She basically just dies. I mean, we're at full build, we just one-shot her at this point. And yeah, game is basically won, so we're just gonna out for fun. Here we go, and I'll wait for the next minion wave. Just probably one-shot the next minion wave, not quite, but because we did use the Essence Reaver proc on the ult that we threw into there for fun, and with that, we're going to end the game. So I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.